1,000 people, close to 800,000 jobs lost so far this year. So let's turn now. Joining us live are McCain supporter and Republican governor, 6-year Republican governor of Minnesota, Tim Pawlenty. His state lost 12,000 jobs so far this year. And Obama supporter Claire McCaskill, Democratic senator from Missouri, where more than 14,000 jobs have been lost in the past year. And we thank you both so much for being with us. Governor Pawlenty, I'll start with you. Not what's going to happen in weeks or tax cuts or months or years, but tell me this. What is the one thing that Senator McCain would do within days if he's elected president that would secure more jobs?
Well, he understands that in a recession, Diane, you don't raise taxes. The last thing that the American people need when they're struggling to afford their heating bills and their grocery bills and their health care bills is to visit upon them or the economy and small business owners in particular, which are really only the only entities adding jobs now, is more tax burden. So that's number one. And number two, he was somebody who'd be very serious about getting us out of this culture and nation of debt. The nation's in $10 trillion in debt, and he said he'd freeze federal spending except in limited categories like the military and bring fiscal discipline back to Washington.
Senator McCaskill, so he would freeze federal debt and he would freeze spending, rather. What would Senator Obama do?
Well, first of all, immediately, I think Senator Obama understands that we need to help the states and municipalities work on their infrastructures. We have roads and bridges to build all over this country, and those are good jobs. It would be economic stimulative. It would help the states. It would create the American jobs. And by the way, changing the tax code so that we are not giving companies tax breaks for taking jobs overseas, but rather giving them a tax break for keeping jobs here in America. That's what Barack Obama stands for.
So the very first thing, Senator McCaskill? What's the one first thing?
I think that the stimulus package, depending on how these credit markets unfreeze in the next few months, the stimulus package that will allow this infrastructure jobs that are going to build roads and bridges that are so desperately needed. You know, we've been building roads and bridges in Baghdad to the tune of $10 billion a month. We ought to be able to build them here in America.
Let me turn, though, to what Senator McCain's been saying on the campaign trail and his chief criticism of Senator Obama at this point about small businesses. And here's what he says.
Senator Obama's tax increase would impact 50% of small business income in this country and the jobs of 16 million middle-class Americans who work for those small businesses.
Senator McCaskill, I'll let you respond, and then Governor Pawlenty answer.
It's just not true. 90% of the people who have small businesses in this country net less than $250,000 a year. There will not be a tax increase. And more importantly, Diane, Barack Obama is going to give tax credits to small businesses for creating jobs and those who provide health insurance for their employees. His plan is all about the middle class, all about the engine of the middle class, which is small business, whereas John McCain wants to give another tax break to Paris Hilton.
Well, on that front, Governor Pawlenty, let me play what Senator Obama says about Senator McCain. Let you answer.
We won't be able to bring back every single job that is left, but we can stop doing what John McCain wants to keep doing and giving tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas.
Governor Pawlenty?
Well, if you look at Barack Obama's plan, Diane, he wants to do this. He wants to raise the taxes on capital gains. He wants to raise the taxes on dividends. He wants to raise the taxes on payroll. He wants to have a finer penalties for employers relating to health care. He wants to raise marginal income tax rates. Most of the small businesses in this country, again, which are the people who are providing most of the jobs, pay their income taxes and their taxes on their individual returns. Those things that I just listed would suffocate job growth in this country. There is no thinking economist, there is no thinking person who would say in a recession we should raise all of those taxes. And then lastly, as to your earlier question, Senator McCain is also focused on bringing relief to homeowners. He's got a proposal to buy up bad mortgages or to help people with their mortgages because that's one of the root causes of this recession that we're in.
Senator McCaskill, what about that list?
Well, here's the deal. You know, John McCain is going to do exactly what George Bush has done. It's the same philosophy. Tax cuts for the very, very wealthy and big corporations. You know, we've seen how this turned out, and surely we're smart enough not to do it again. What Barack Obama wants to do is, in fact, give tax cuts to working people, the middle class that is, frankly, strangling under the Bush-McCain economic philosophy. Let's take care of working families for a change instead of just the people that are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies.
Let me try, if I can, a quick answer from both of you about the automakers. As we know, there's a possibility 2 million jobs could be lost there if they go on under. Governor Pawlenty, will Senator McCain go for bailout or bankruptcy?
Senator McCain has spoken of support, Diane, for targeted and specific relief for the auto industry, particularly as it relates to helping them transition to next technology cars that are low emissions or zero emissions or higher mileage vehicles.
Bailout?
Well, it's specifically targeted to that transition. He's willing to support them in that regard.
And a quick answer, Senator McCaskill?
Barack Obama believes we build great cars in America. We need to invest in allowing them to change their technologies to green technologies, plug-in and hybrids. If we help them through this transition, they're going to continue to be very strong manufacturing jobs here in America.
Well, I think I'm hearing bailout from both, but not sure here. Will email me and I'll get to
We just don't like that word.
Okay.
We don't like that word, Diane.
All right. Well, thanks to you both so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks, Diane.
Such an important topic, Robin.